Hi, on the accessible Tesla road trip once again, and I'm here in Knoxville, Tennessee, getting a quick recharge and then back onto the road. I did want to take a minute to talk a little bit about one of the newest additions to my accessible driving kit, and that is the Darios Ring, which is this ring that goes around the steering wheel here, and then also this lever that is attached here on the right. And what these things are they're the replacement for the hand controls that I have used previously. Because of multiple sclerosis, I have limited use of my legs and my feet, so I cannot use gas pedal and brake pedal with any reliability. So, you know, that appeared like it was going to prevent me from driving for a long time. And for many years, I used hand control setup that were basically two sticks that were attached with clamps to the gas pedal and the brake pedal, and so I would push a button with my thumb that would accelerate the car because it pushed on the gas pedal through the stick, or if I wanted to stop, I could use my wrist and push down on the brake, which would then transfer to the brake pedal and slow the car down, which worked. Except that one of the things that kind of sucked about it was it required two hands at all times. One hand was steering, and I had a special steering wheel knob that allowed me to get a better grip and spin the wheel without having to take my hands off of the control. And the other hand was doing gas and brake, which worked until you needed to have a hand to do something else, like scratch your nose, or flip a turn signal, or change gears, or turn on the autopilot for the car. Anything that you needed to do, you did have to take your hand off the wheel, and that could be a problem. Even just turning up the radio or turning on cruise control could be a risky proposition, if you chose to take your hand off the wheel at the wrong time. So I didn't really like that as my driving solution. When I found the Darios Ring, this was custom built to help people with disability needs driving, and when I found that that it was available for the Tesla, I realized that it was going to be a good fit, because in my opinion the Tesla is the perfect car for driving with accessibility needs, because it has the autopilot, which takes care of a lot of the steering and navigation for you, and does allow a disabled driver some flexibility to not have to be driving 100% of the time. Even though you've got to be engaged and ready to take over at any time, it still does simplify things quite a bit. It keeps you in the lane, it takes care of gas and braking, it adjusts as cars in front of you slow down. So you really don't have to mess with it a whole lot on a highway drive, and it makes the highway drive much easier to do, much lower stress. The Darios Ring takes that a step further, because since that it is all mounted here on the wheel, when I'm driving, I don't have to take my hands off the wheel if I don't want to. I can accelerate with this, and I'm perfectly good. Of course, steering. And if I need to, if I let off the accelerator, then the car will start to slow down. And of course, in an urgent need to stop, the brake is right here. So I can just push down on that, and I'm all ready to stop. So it really has been a great system for use with the Tesla, because it seems almost perfectly aligned with the regenerative braking capabilities that the Tesla has. Now, there are a little bit of a learning curve with this, just because this is not how we learned how to drive. So in driving effectively, you have to learn, how to push on this when you want to. If you're driving and you just suddenly push on it, well, the car will accelerate, which may or may not be what you wanted. So learning how to drive with your hand on the wheel, but then using maybe a thumb or your palm to do the acceleration. It's just a little bit of a nuance to get used to. In the same way that we all had to learn how to calibrate our foot to use the gas pedal in driving effectively. You learn how to push just a tiny bit with your foot and let off. in a way that was difficult at first. The Darios Ring does have some options which I really like. There's a little control switch on the dash that's built in that allows me to, first off, I can just turn off the system entirely, in which case the gas and the brake pedal work as they always have. And so a fully able driver that suddenly is finding a need to get in and drive my car, whether they're a family member, or, parking valet, whatever, mechanic, and they're not going to be used to hand controls and how that works. And that has been a challenge, which was not always practical. Like, again, for a parking valet or something like that, you don't want to have to be crawling around on the ground outside the car, putting on hand controls in the floor well, just so that you can go in and have dinner and then put them back on when you come back out. You can also adjust the sensitivity to it. There's one mode that is relatively low key, and so you have to push a little further to get the acceleration. There's another mode that's considered a sport mode, and this is much more sensitive. A little bit of a push gives a lot more acceleration, and it's really a matter of personal preference. I personally like the more laid-back acceleration, which is mostly a function of driving with a Tesla, because Tesla, being electric, has such quick torque off the line and quick acceleration.
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger, ready to move out.
It doesn't need a whole lot more help from the steering wheel. Although, if you want that, you certainly can. I've just found, at least as I've been using this, that it's kind of nice to just tame it down just a little bit. It makes it just a little easier to park and pull out of the garage and things like that. I bought the Darios Ring for 3 main reasons: safety, good looks, and to make my life as a disabled person a little easier. As far as safety goes, it was much safer driving with the Darios Ring as compared to certainly with no hand controls, but also even more so than the hand controls that I had before. My hands are on the wheel constantly. The brake is right at hand in case I need it, and it also avoids some of the dangers that you run into with third-party hand controls. People use hand controls to overcome a wide range of disabilities that might otherwise prevent them from driving. And for the most part, they make driving a lot safer and easier. But there is an injury risk that can come when they're installed in a car that has airbags. As the airbags go off in an accident, they can turn all that metal in the hand control into a dangerous projectile, which is generally a bad thing. The difference with the Darios Ring is all the components are out of the firing line. So if you're currently a hand control user, or you know someone who is, it's worth checking out. In terms of good looks, the Darios Ring looks like it's a factory install. Looks like it came right off the assembly line. There are no major disruptions to car finishes or functions. If you look closely, there are very small modifications underneath the steering wheel, and then you have the actual ring on the steering wheel itself and the brake handle, and that's it. It's a very clean look. I really like. The third reason I got the Darios Ring is to make my life as a disabled person a little bit easier. Multiple sclerosis almost took away my ability to drive, and along with that, all the independence and freedom that offers. So I was really happy to find a solution like the Darios Ring that could keep me behind the wheel and enjoying that. Also, being able to flip it back and forth between using the regular original controls or the Darios controls has been a nice aid, just in case I have a fully able driver at my side. The company that makes the Darios Ring is Kempf, and they have a really cool story. Back in the 1950s, they were founded by a French student who, unfortunately due to polio, also had some driving disabilities. But he invented a precursor of the Darios Ring, and there we go. Today the company is still in the family, and they were really great to work with. The order and the installation process of the Darios Ring was very easy. I contacted Kempf through their website, and they walked me through the procedure. For the actual install, they trucked my car down to their Florida facility, and a couple weeks later, they returned it on a flatbed truck back to me in Ohio. So it all contributed to a really great customer experience. I created this video with 2 main people in mind. If you're a disabled driver or know someone who is, this video's for you. Hopefully you found some ideas that can make driving safer and more enjoyable, and give you access to the freedom and independence that driving offers. If you did, I hope you find it useful and can share. If you work for or with Tesla, this video is for you too. Tesla's a fantastic car, and it has some features that are uniquely suited for a disabled driver. Ironically, Tesla appears to be one of the few automakers that doesn't have a defined outreach program for disabled drivers, either in terms of rebates or awareness or other functions. So I'm hoping that by seeing this, you'll see the potential value in such an initiative. Tesla's already known as one of the most innovative car manufacturers in the world. This could help make it be known as one of the most inclusive as well. I hope you liked this episode of Get Healthy or Die Trying. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe buttons, and feel free to share. MS is a tough disease, but I've found ways to be happy, healthier, and have a great quality of life. I share my experiences in the hope that it can make lives better for you and someone you know.